and investigates toxic water and ailing Bay Area vets who say they were poisoned by our own government.
We poisoned us willfully.
Charlie LaDuff digs into the soaring salaries of college football coaches with the highest paid coach in the land.
Are you worth the money? No.
And I investigate the problem with Obamacare that crushes people who need help the most.
It's a good insurance plan, except for when you get really sick.
Until you get sick, and they take it from you. Yes. Pretty much. Sounds crazy, right?
This is Money, Power, and Politics.
All right, we'll start with the rising costs of college tuition and soaring student debt.
Yeah, and with that, some salaries and earnings of the top college football coaches all across the nation.
Jim Harbaugh of Michigan tops the list at more than $9 million, followed by Nick Saban and Urban Meyer.
So our own Charlie LaDuff, who really likes Michigan football, by the way, asked Harbaugh if he's making too much.
Are you worth the money?
No.
Well, then give it back.
No, I like making a buck just like the next guy. And yeah, it's not doing 5 times as much work as somebody else or doing more work than somebody that's, you know, not the head football coach at the University of Michigan. So to answer your question, honestly, I would have to say no.
Wow. So if you took a pay cut, you think all the rest of the coaches in major college football would take a pay cut?
I don't know.
Want to see?
No. Fair question, but as I said, I'm willing to work for it.
College football rakes in more than $3.5 billion a year, but only 20 schools, including Michigan, make money on football. The rest need to drain cash from the taxpayers and students to maintain a team. So fewer wins means fewer dollars, which translates into higher tuition or fewer male cheerleaders. And nobody wants that.
Go blue! Go blue!
The math is simple. Just win, Jim.
I can do a lot of push-ups.
What can you do?
In a row?
Yeah.
60.
Nice.
You?
Probably could do 25 in a row.
Want to do them with me?
No.
Oh, come on, that would be great TV.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Knock out 60 right now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 67, 58. Change your arm angle. 59, 60.
Go blue!
In terms of the value to the university, I think he'll probably be worth it. Is there something a little bit unusual that he's paid much more than the university president or much more than anybody else on campus? You know, that's the way the world is.
There's also the education part. Remember, athletes don't get paid, they get scholarships. Michigan prides itself not only on its football tradition, but also its academic achievements.
First public university in the United States. 20 Pulitzer Prize winners. 7 Nobel Prize winners. 1 President of the United States. The Unabomber. Well, maybe not so much him.
Can a guy get an education and put all the time in that you expect of him?
Yeah, I mean, when he or she is motivated to do so, then you will get out of it what you put into it.
And Michigan tries to be very serious. You know, I don't think you'll hear a Michigan player saying what Cardale Jones said about Ohio State, that, you know, didn't come here for the school. But
you don't need to take a stab at Ohio State. We're talking Michigan. Just keep on top.
Just keep on. I always like taking a stab.
Provincialism.
I always like taking a stab at Ohio State if I can.
Michigan football, it's back. Jim's back. I'm back. Backflip. Do that, Eisen. Go blue.
Well, how about that? Successful college coaches also boost fundraising, of course. And so the former Alabama president said that the smartest investment his school ever made was, in fact, hiring Nick Saban.
5 national championships, I'm sure, helps his case a little bit.
And you know what I remember most about Nick Saban? I mean, he made Tim Tebow cry on the sidelines there. Just broke him down.
You had
right
to bring
there
that
on
up.
the Tebow
We had to
fan
bring that
here.
up.
So we've got some serious ground to cover here
Yeah.
as well. But he did.
He did, yeah. All right, well, we also have a hot debate over health care because premiums are going up and choices are going down.
Yeah, and another big part of this, you have a lot of people who are struggling and they just get left behind because a lot of states like Florida and others will not expand Medicaid, and that's the core of the problem.
Let's talk about the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare.
As the story goes, we pay in when we're healthy, then they pay out when we're sick.
Insurance companies have to treat customers right because of the Affordable Care Act.
They're supposed to look out for us.
Every American from this day forward will be treated with simple fairness and basic justice.
And never pull the rug out from under us as long as we pay.
Insurance companies will no longer be able to drop people's coverage when they get sick.
But Raymond Martineau found out the hard way why you can't always trust what they say.
I want to talk about it. It turned me into an emotional basket case. It's basically what it did.
He lined up a job.
Look, I've been working since I was a kid. I love to work.
He got insurance under Obamacare.
The plan I have is actually a very good plan.
And he got cancer.
Bowel movements are like, you almost black out from the pain.
He had 2 advanced tumors in his bowels and needed surgery and chemo.
I've blacked out in the hallway before, and my mom's had to pick me up off the floor in the hallway.
He got too sick to work. His mom postponed retirement so she could pay his premiums for him.
I can't eat, and when I'm throwing up, she was there when I blacked out in the hallway. She's the world. That's my mom.
And then the other bomb hit, this one by mail.
If you can't earn the income for us to give you this subsidy, we cannot give you insurance.
Bottom line, he can't keep his health without his job, and he can't keep his job without his health.
I'm stuck in a catch-22.
Under the law, you have to earn income to qualify for subsidies and affordable care. No income, no affordable care. And your mom's money won't help.
If the premiums are being paid, why are you going to take my health care?
The short answer is Obamacare figured people with no money should not buy policies. Instead, they should get state-run health care for the poor, which Florida Governor Rick Scott supported, but then refused.
I cannot in good conscience deny Floridians that needed access to health care. I'm not going to stand in the way. I'm not going to support it.
So when the president said he covered everyone,
We were able to deliver on universal health care.
he meant everyone except for many who live in states like Florida.
There are people who fall between the cracks.
It's a good insurance plan, except for when you get really sick.
Until you get sick, and they take it from you. Yes, pretty much. Sounds crazy, right?
So when you compare Raymond's story to the sales pitch from Washington, they do not add up.
Insurance companies will no longer be able to drop people's coverage when they get sick.
This law is working exactly as it's supposed to, and in some ways better than we expected it to.
It's like I'm just wasting away.
Back at Raymond's home in Tampa Bay, he got his final notice in March.
I just don't want to stop my treatments this far into them.
And then they cut him off.
I think about what my mom would go through if something happened to me. I don't think she could handle it.
Okay, but here's the good news for Raymond. After we took up his case, the state did agree to give him state Medicaid. And today, Raymond just told me he just had surgery to remove the cancer. But hundreds of thousands of others, Merissa, are still in a bind, and Washington can't figure out what to do.
And Washington has also struggled to help our veterans, and that brings us to our continued investigation of the VA. Coming up, a Bay Area veteran drank and bathed in toxic water at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, and now he's suffering from lifelong illnesses that make it hard just to get out of bed some days. His story after the break.
Well, Merissa, this year we produced a series of reports showing how government tainted the water supply and poisoned the people of Flint, Michigan.
But long before Flint, our Marines and reservists drank toxic water at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. One Bay Area veteran said it made him sick. But what makes him sicker, though, is that he says it's very difficult to get the help veterans like him need following one of the worst contaminations in U.S. history.
He poisoned them willfully.
Former Marine Corps reservist Robert Boulay trained at Camp Lejeune
I was always in shape.
in the heat of the summer.
This was August. I mean, you're training hard. I mean, you're training all day. You get up and you train until you go to bed. I mean, I drank well over a gallon of water every day.
That was 1985 when Boulay was just 21 years old. Even then, he had concerns about the water supply on base.
It smelled synthetic at times. It smelled putrid at times. It smelled like a pool at times. And there was days that we didn't want to drink it, but we were put into formation and had forced water drills.
Staying hydrated came at a cost, Boulay told me.
So, I mean, it was like, you were damned you do, you're damned you don't. Because if you didn't drink, you would be dehydrated. If you did drink, which we didn't know that was contaminated, we got more contamination.
3 years before Boulay arrived at Camp Lejeune, the Marine Corps discovered elevated levels of chemicals in 2 of the 8 water supply systems on base. That list of chemicals found in the water later included benzene, which is known to cause cancer.
They knew about this. This could have been changed.
But it wasn't. Instead, says Boulay, it was covered up, and in the years after leaving Camp Lejeune, his health took a turn for the worst. In 2004, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor and had 90% of it removed. He says he suffers from neurological diseases, severe migraines, impaired kidney and liver functions. All of it he blames on the water.
No one in my family has any of these health issues. I was a Golden Gloves boxer when I was younger. I was always a fitness buff, and maybe that's the reason why I'm in the shape I'm in. I mean, even my doctor contribute my health to being the way it is now is because I kept myself healthy. He basically said I outlived my life expectancy by 10 years.
It wasn't until 2012 that Boulay discovered his suspicions about the water were real. At a Social Security disability hearing, a judge asked him if he had heard of the Caring for Camp Lejeune Family Cares Act.
I says, no, I haven't. She says, well, you should have received something in the mail, you know, because they were sending notices out to everyone who was at Camp Lejeune for a survey, for a medical survey.
The original bill protects active duty Marines, but not a reservist like Boulay.
I was so upset when I heard this, that I was so betrayed by my government. The government who I swore an oath to serve and protect the citizens of the United States did not protect me while I was training at Camp Lejeune.
A new rule proposed last year would compensate National Guard members and reservists who served at Camp Lejeune for at least 30 days. It will also grant service connection to those affected, and up to 1 million Marines and their families could have been affected by their exposure as well.
I'll have to take pain medication to get myself up, to get myself going, just to get to the gym. But it is better to do that than just to sit home.
The new proposed rule has yet to go into effect, but Boulay hopes it will soon, to give others like him a fighting chance.
Basically, like my doctor said, you're gonna lose the battle. Will it turn cancerous? It can, most likely it will. Hopefully it doesn't, so that's the only thing that I can look forward to, that it doesn't turn cancerous.
Now, in a news release from the Department of Veterans Affairs last month, Secretary Robert McDonald said, quote, "We have a responsibility to take care of those who have served our nation and have been exposed to harm as a result of that service. Establishing a presumption for service at Camp Lejeune will make it easier for those veterans to receive the care and benefits they deserve," end quote.
Well, meaning that the VA said it will give the Marines and reservists who drank that water and bathed in it the benefits that they need.
But the VA said that back in December, and nearly a year has passed, so veterans are left still waiting.
And we're still waiting to see who the next Secretary of Veterans Affairs will be. Look for the possibility of Jeff Miller from Florida here. We also have been looking into problems at the VA for years. Check out our series Forgotten Heroes and The War at Home. You can also catch up on prior investigations of money and politics. Again, our YouTube channel, search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics, and click subscribe at the top of the page. Okay, Marissa, what do we have coming up?
Well, we have a messy transition for the president-elect.
Yeah, we're going to take a closer look at the players in Washington, the protesters on the street, and what happens next. Well, President-elect Trump took to Twitter again to set the record straight as he sees it about his administration.
As of now, the only two positions he's filled are chief of staff and chief counsel. And last night he tweeted, "Very organized process taking place as I decide on cabinet and many other positions. I am the only one who knows who the finalists are." Maybe, just maybe, the president-elect will tweet them out at some point.
I like the use of the word finalist. Sounds like he might have run a show where that term was used a time or two.
Have,
in his interview with 60 Minutes, by the way, Donald Trump looked straight at the camera and said to those protesters he wants them to, quote, stop it.
But 8 days after he won the White House, the protests continue across America. They're happening all over the country. They're taking place in the streets, on school campuses, near Trump's hotels, and in the Washington, D.C. area.
And when you look at this, you might not know it, but polling shows that Americans are growing more confident in Donald Trump since the election. Gallup showing 51% are more confident. That's right on line with Bill Clinton and George W. Bush a few days into their transition. 40% less confident. Not many undecided here. That is also striking. People are set one way or the other. Okay, I want to do something different. We're going to head into the final break here. We've never done this before. Let's try to make each other laugh. We'll have a serious discussion of the issues, but whoever can trip each other up first. They're all the coming up here, maybe a generic American flag or something, because when we come back, we're going to tackle politics in something different, and Marissa's going to laugh right after this. You got 90 seconds to think of something. So we have this speculation all across the nation. Why are you smiling here? I have this speculation all across the nation in terms of who the next Secretary of State, the Attorney General will be. Will it be Rudy Giuliani at State? Will it be Bolton? I think Bolton could be the pick here because if you look, it's a very untraditional White House. Having Bolton in there, he could croon, right? When a man loves a woman, right? Time, love, and tenderness. That was just haunting, I think, when he did that. And Michael Bolton, as the nation's chief diplomat here, I think could go a long way, especially if he does his interpretation of Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay.
Nice try.
Oh,
you didn't get me, though.
Gone it. All right, what do you have for me?
I got nothing. I don't come up with jokes. I can't come up with jokes.
Oh, no.
I'm not a
yes,
jokester.
You do. Yes, you are. Okay, you got to think about it. We're going to take a break and take over to our YouTube channel here. This is, once again, Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics. Search for my name as such. Click subscribe. You'll find our humor segments, by the way, and you'll find that Marissa is, in fact, quite wrong about this. We have a segment called Something Different as well. I'm going to put her on the spot here in the closing seconds you have. Okay, second swing here. What do you got for me?
I still got nothing.
She still has nothing. Oh, no.
I'm going to need at least a full 4-hour notice before we do something
24-hour notice.
like this.
Okay, well, that's
Next
coming
time.
tomorrow night, so we're going to work up something very special, very funny tomorrow. In fact, we have a new game show segment in the works.
That'll be good.
Was that Trump? Did Trump
Yeah.
really say that? So
That's a
that's
good
going to
one.
be tomorrow night. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we will bring you more predictions and developments in the transition as they come. We will see you again tomorrow night. Take care.